This former post office supervisor gets sentenced to prison for stealing 272 checks out of the mail, totaling nearly $2 million. And he had the nerve to start trying to break down in tears. Like, you stole $2 million and you got the nerve to try and feel sad about it. Let's watch this. All right, y'all let me know what y'all think. It's Ricky Rich with Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.
Hundreds of checks stolen from the mail at a local post office, and it turns out it was an inside job. This afternoon, we now know the post office supervisor at the center of the crime spree will be going to prison. Senior investigative reporter Bob Siegel was in federal court and explains how long the postal worker will spend behind bars.
As James Lancaster climbed the stairs to the federal courthouse in downtown Indianapolis, he was hoping a judge would offer leniency for a crime that crippled businesses on the northwest side of Indianapolis. 2 years ago, while Lancaster was the customer service manager at the New Augusta Post Office, he started taking checks right out of the mail. Court records show he stole at least 272 checks worth at least $1.7 million from 59 different businesses. Hospitals, utilities, car dealerships, a cancer research center, charities, and other local businesses all suffered significant damage when their checks were stolen from the post office and sold online.
I would honestly feel bad for the Cancer Research Center if I were to be doing this crime, which I would never do. Let's put that on record. But yeah, I don't know that I would have. I think the car dealership. I can't believe I'm sitting here dissecting the crime, but the cancer. I think I have to draw the line at the Cancer Research Center. I'm not stealing checks from the Cancer Research Center. Like, come on, man. I'll just leave it at that.
A cancer research center, charities, and other local businesses all suffered significant damage when their checks were stolen from the post office and sold online. The owner of Fine Promotion says his business was impacted for months.
It's hard for anyone to understand what the business interruption is like to shut down your checking account. And plus, we had to change how we were doing business because we could no longer trust the post office.
After 13 investigators reported on the rash of stolen and altered checks, federal investigators quickly focused on Lancaster, who admitted taking the checks and providing them to 2 accomplices in Illinois. Lancaster pled guilty to mail theft and conspiracy to commit bank fraud. Wednesday morning at his sentencing hearing, Lancaster cried as he told a federal judge, "I want everyone to know I am truly sorry for everything that's happened. I am embarrassed and ashamed of my own actions." His attorney.
What's the saying? You're not sorry. It happened. You're just sorry you got caught. I have no sympathy for him. I've mentioned before, I've had checks stolen from me. I've had even, these scams done on me with old checks and stuff like that. So it is what it is.
Attorney asked the court to not send Lancaster to prison. The judge did not agree. Judge Tanya Walton Pratt said Mr. Lancaster was in a position of trust at a busy post office, but showed nothing other than greed and disregard of the victims. She told the former postal worker, "It's important that individual victims see justice was served in this case." The judge sentenced Lancaster to serve 40 months behind bars.
Oh my gosh, it should be at least twice that.
Rob Fine believes that penalty is much too lenient.
What he knew what he was doing, and he did it 200 times, for God's sakes.
Lancaster.
Let me stop there. I'm gonna say I disagree with what the guy said. This is what they call a white collar crime, and I've seen several individuals and other race and ethnic groups that pull off these types of white collar crimes, and they get 18 months, 20 months, uh 30 months, but they're not getting 10, 20 years like they used to give people for, having drugs on them back in the day. Right? It's a white collar crime. 40 months? Let me ask y'all a question while we're here. I'm gonna finish this video out, but just real quick before we get to the end of it. $2 million, 40 months? Would you do it? Would you go sit down for 40 months for 2 million? We'll talk about it after.
Lancaster will begin serving his sentence within the next several months. He did not want to talk with 13 News after his court hearing, but he did tell me again he's sorry for his crime and that stealing the checks was, in his words, a big mistake. U.S. Attorney Zach Myers sees it differently.
Stealing almost 250 checks from the mail to the tune of almost $2 million, that's not a mistake. That is a series of repeated choices, a persistent pattern of felonious criminal behavior that the defendant chose to engage in every time he stole yet another check. So, I don't think that any argument that this was simply a mistake, has any validity.
This case may be over, but the impact on the U.S. Post Office will likely last much longer. Some of the victims we spoke to say they simply don't trust the post office anymore and will no longer do business there. I'm Bob Siegel, 13 Investor.
Well, I think, now look, if I had got robbed for my checks, I would probably be singing a different tune in general. If I were part of this situation, because like I said, I've been robbed of my checks before. I think he got the time that he deserved based on the fact that that's actually a little bit more than what typically happens when people do these types of crimes. So he got over 3 years, 3 years and 4 months. That's about what, like I said, typically I'm seeing people get 18 months, 2 years, but he got 3 years and he got over 3 years. So that's that. Was it wrong? Absolutely. Would I do it? Nope. Now, back to the question before I get out of here. Would y'all for 40 months, 3 years, a little over 3 years, is $2 million worth it to y'all? For me, that's a no, because I got a lot more going on in life outside that, is worth more than that. So for me, not at all. Now, if you're saying 20 million for 40 months, I'll go sit down. Right. It's worth the risk. And I'm only partly playing with that. But yeah, y'all let me know. What y'all, is this enough for y'all? I know if I were him, I don't know that I'd be crying. I think I'd be like, all right, look, I got to take this on the chin. Y'all let me know what y'all think, all right? It's Ricky Rich for Black Primacy. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and turn on your notifications.